Hello, my name is Brandy. Welcome to my channel. I am going to be talking about today what it's truly like to experience a spiritual awakening. Um, there are some things that I have been dealing with. It's been about 2 years since I've made a video. I stopped making videos. I did have a lot of things that were going on in my life at the time, and I was in a very, very bad place. I was in a very dark place. And with it now being the middle-ish end of July of 2022, I think I'm gonna go back to when everything pretty much started for me. It was maybe around June of 2020. No, I'm sorry, June of 2021. So I have been having and dealing with some personal issues in my current relationship. I really don't want to go into detail as of right now. That'll be for a whole nother separate video. But this particular situation, this relationship that I'm in, with the trauma and everything that was going on, it definitely had caused some type of enlightenment for me. I mean, it was not something that I looked for or knew about or searched or referenced or had any inclination of what is actually happening. So I'm gonna go back about 2 months. I'd say probably sometime in maybe April. No, I'm sorry, this was May of this year. So I want to say maybe the second week of May. I was struggling. I was having a very hard time. It was really hard to focus at work. Some things were happening with my job. I had to be moved to a different office. And I do remember one day I just kind of was, woke up out of my sleep, maybe around 3 or 4 in the morning, and I had anxiety, I was shaking, my heart was beating, I was sweating. It was really bad. And this was in regards to what I'm just dealing with, what's going on in my current situation. So what I remember happening was I was shaking, I was walking and pacing back and forth, and I was crying. And I don't think that I've ever been in that much mental, emotional, or even physical pain before in my entire life. I've definitely been through some things that have made me very strong. This was definitely something that was life-changing for sure. All I can remember in that moment was just crying hysterically, could hardly breathe. All I was saying over and over was, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. And I was repeating that multiple times. Okay, we're not gonna get into how many times. I didn't even know what was happening. It was just kind of like happening to me. I wasn't even able to think. The only thing that I do remember was just the overwhelming feeling of just intense emotional pain. So what ended up happening is that right in the middle of me experiencing all of these emotions and feeling what I was feeling, physically feeling what my body was feeling, and trying to make sense of everything, it was literally like a giant light bulb went off, and it was almost as if I was getting some type of like information that was just put inside of my mind. It's hard to explain. And I just, at that moment, I instantly knew. It was more than an aha moment. I instantly knew why I was going through what I was going through, and the situation, the person, the circumstance. I just knew all of it was a karmic lesson. I've been a Christian all my life. I have been baptized twice. I was christened when I was very young. My mother was Catholic. So I have had a personal relationship with God. And when I say that this was such an epiphany, it was definitely an epiphany for me. It was a different type of feeling as far as my relationship with God and the visions that I've had, which I'm all going to get into. I'm going to make a couple of series for this spiritual awakening journey, which has led to so many things. So I knew that this was something that I've never experienced before. I didn't know what was happening. I was just literally receiving information inside of my mind from somewhere, and everything just made sense. It was almost like somebody was telling me something and I was just repeating it out loud. I just was pacing back and forth, and I just stopped in my tracks, and I'm like, this is a karmic lesson. This is me repaying. This is me getting paid back for the things that I have done that were wrong. And in that moment, I just instantly embraced it, as far as understanding that what I was going through was the emotional pain, the physical pain, the heartbreak. I understood in that exact moment that it was just my turn to get back maybe what I have done to someone else. So with that being said, since then, I've had a ton of experiences. I was very much struggling with what was happening. I was going back and forth in my mind, like, is this even a real thing? How do I know this? What's going on? So I ended up doing some research, and I found that sometimes it is possible for a person to reach a certain level of a spiritual awareness from trauma. I was completely mind blown. Now I'm able to smile. Now I'm in the healing process. But let me say, at that time, in the moment, I was confused, terrified. I was still hurting. I was just trying to make sense of everything on top of what was actually happening to me. So once I did that, I ended up going on YouTube, and I don't know what I was looking for, to be honest. I think I just started, like, maybe I searched getting information from somewhere, or just feeling like having an aha moment. And I'm only 2 months in, and I'm telling you, I've acquired so much information. I just want to share with everyone. I want to share it with anyone else who can relate to what I'm saying, anyone else who's going through what I'm going through. I truly was under some type of negative spiritual attack. I was in a very dark place. That's all I'm gonna say, was that I was in a very dark place. I didn't feel worthy to be loved. I didn't feel worthy to I just didn't feel worthy. So once I started to research all of this stuff, I was just completely amazed, and now I just completely embrace it. I know that I was actually someone who was chosen to know the signs, to pay attention to that information. I instantly disconnected from that hurt and pain and the physical effects it was having on me at that time. I was able to detach from that for a moment and understand what was happening. Well, maybe not so much understand, but just realize that something incredible was happening to me. So I am very nervous to share my experience, but I'm also very excited, because if it wasn't for others who have made videos and me getting educated, I think that I probably would have had a lot more self-doubt. I wouldn't have been able to really fully listen to my intuition and really understand and be open to what was happening. So In the process, I have managed to find a life coach. Well, we found each other by accident, which was really cool. So I'm actually starting to head my life in the right direction as far as what to do, how to continue to, stay grounded, to think positive thoughts about myself, to learn how to forgive myself. One thing I'm definitely struggling with is childhood trauma and a personal relationship, and how to learn how to forgive, as well as how to learn how to forgive myself. So I am going to be making some videos. I also have been very busy with researching and studying a lot of tools. I've learned some quite interesting things about myself. I always knew that I was an empath. That's nothing that's new or shocking. I'm definitely embracing that, and I'm learning how to block other people's energy. I'm learning to how to be aware in the current moment, as far as, let's say if I'm at work and I feel like I'm being pushed or like tested. I don't really want to use tested as a word, but if I feel like I am reverting back, I desperately try to put all these thoughts, positive thoughts into my mind. I definitely try to stay present in that moment and realize, my mistake, or where I'm gonna, to prevent myself from going back. That's the main focus for myself, is to not revert back to old habits, and to evolve and learn and embrace and surrender myself. So I found out about crystals. So I'm still learning and researching on how to work with them. I'm still kind of in that early stages of struggling how to really connect with them. There are some pieces that I'm definitely drawn to more than others that I have. I'm just trying to learn how to use those. I have been researching the 7 chakras. I also have been learning about the spiritual signs. And let me say, I see numbers and patterns extensively. And again, so I do work at the DMV. So of course I'm dealing with lots of numbers. I'm dealing with numbers with totals of money. I'm dealing with different driver's license numbers. I mean, VIN numbers. I mean, the numbers are insane. But this is something that, if I'm having a particular thought, or I've been kind of pondering on something for the last maybe 30-40 minutes while I'm at work, I see these numbers, and it's like the same, in the same day. It'll be one time it was 3 times, 3 different people at 3 different times. And I'm like, okay, there is no coincidence. Okay, I'm listening. So I'm doing some research on that. I'm looking up some books that I can find, also to be more mindful of that. And I also have been looking at oracle cards. I've just been guided. I feel like because I'm just quieting my mind, I'm putting myself in a higher position of value to myself. I'm being more aware of the decisions I make. I'm being more aware of what feels good and what doesn't. I'm being more aware of what serves me and what doesn't. Regardless of the pain of detaching from that thing, or that, I'm just very excited. I'm very excited to share the things that I've been going through. I do feel nervous, like I said, because it completely sounds crazy. And it's been 2 months. I've been in hibernation or isolation. I just barely started calling my friends, reaching out to them, telling them little bits and pieces, but I'm still pretty reserved on what I want to discuss with my friends, and that's just a whole separate thing. But I'm more interested in addressing and focusing on the people who are actually going through it, and who might be doubting themselves, or is this really happening? Is this in my mind? Am I going crazy? No, it's more real than, in my opinion, the world we live in. I feel like you definitely understand and know when this is happening. It is very much real. It's consuming. It's literally consumed every spare time that I have. Meaning, when I wake up in the morning, that's what I'm doing. When I'm on my break, that's what I'm doing. When I'm in between customers, that's what I'm doing. After I make dinner and do laundry or clean, whatever, that's what I'm doing before I go to bed. And it's been repeating like that. And it's been like that for the last 2 months or so. And I feel like I haven't even really put a dent in it, because I need to kind of be more structured on where I'm going. Because I am finding myself, I'm like, oh, let me look at this, and oh, let me get into that. And so, but what I am going to be doing is I have been getting really, really good with learning the tarot card. And I have definitely been guided to, that's what I'm supposed to do. I've also been guided and given information about starting to do doing a craft, which is going to pertain or spin off into like starting my own business, which I'm not someone who ever dreamed about having my own business or wanting to have my own business. Or I'm still currently in school for social work. That's definitely my number one thing as far as dedication, as far as work goes, or my career. So I'm definitely not going to give up on that, but I'm just trying to balance everything and make time for everything, to fit everything into my life. As far as my children, you know, giving them our time and family time, and then healing. Like, it's so ironic to say, but it's almost like you're just so busy, but to anyone else it'll look like you're so busy doing nothing. But I'm just like absorbing information. I'm researching and reading and reading. I've probably bought like 12 books. I have like 4 tarot card decks, maybe 3 or 4 oracle decks that I got, angels and ancestors, stuff like that. And it's just like I cannot get enough information. So again, I'm very excited. I was in a very, very dark place. I did not think that I was going to be able to come out of it. I didn't know if I was going to be able to come out of that. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I have lost relatives. I lost my mother. I have been homeless. I've been in a shelter. I've been in verbally abusive relationships, mentally abusive relationships, psychological abusive relationships. And what I'm currently going through and currently dealing with, completely, it turned a huge negative into a huge positive. So I look back on that now and say, only in my 2 months of healing, I have a lot of work to do, many years, I'm sure. But it is amazing that I'm able to say, wow, I am grateful for that experience, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and I wouldn't know God or know what's really out there and know who we really truly are without this whole experience. So deep down in my soul, I'm very grateful for the experience. I find myself to be someone who is very blessed that I was able to come across all of this information and this knowledge to understand as much as I have up to this point, what it's like and what we are, and I'm just like on fire for it. So I want to share it with everyone. I want to share it with people who are struggling, who feel alone. I'm already starting to kind of detach from family members. I do have a few close friends that I've kind of briefly described what's going on, and they're very supportive. Again, I'm not trying to change anyone's mind or make them have the same beliefs as I do, or, you know, push them in that direction. My intention for the content I'm going to be putting out is for people who are going through this and they feel like no one understands, or they're alone, they're afraid, you know, all of that stuff. I've been there, done that. I'm in a whole new state where I don't have any friends. All my family is, you know, away. So, yeah, I'm very excited to um, start putting out content again. You know, I know I'm going to be pretty busy with school and a full-time job and being a mom and researching and healing and my life coach and other things I got going on, but it's all going to come together. I'm surrendering myself. I want to be the best person that I can be. And I'm just like on fire. I'm very excited. So I am going to be making my separate YouTube channel for tarot. So I'm definitely going to be starting getting into that. I've been doing some readings with a few people and just like, you know, practicing with myself. And it is incredible how sometimes, no matter who you're doing a reading on, well, for myself, the same exact cards keep coming out. I mean, the same exact cards keep coming up. And especially when I have the intent of what questions I have, or, you know, what messages are supposed to be told to me, because maybe I'm too stubborn in my own mind to like really stop and listen to what I'm being guided to do. So, yeah, I'm very excited. Another few things that have helped me also, anyone who is watching this and they're struggling, you know, you're having trouble sleeping, all of this stuff, what I would recommend is if you Google or even YouTube some sleep hypnosis. First, it started with like how to cut cords and how to release negative energy. It started with that, and it's just been a complete domino effect to, you know, asking your spirit guides to come and give you some guidance, angels. I'm learning a lot about all of this, and it's just really incredible. And I always knew I was very easy to embrace everything and accept it, because when I was very young, I realized that I was one of those kids at 5, 6, 7 years old. I wanted to talk to them about the sky. To me, I was fascinated with the sky, and that we were people and that we thought the way we did. And kids my age were like, what? Like, can we just play Barbies, or can we just play tag or hide and seek? And of course I did those things as well, but that's where my mind just was like focused. And so I never really put too much thought into it, but now that I'm learning everything that I'm learning, it all is just coming together like a giant puzzle piece. And I feel my anxiety has been like 90% non-existent. My depression has dramatically subsided. I get sad sometimes. I'm human. I'll cry, but it'll be like 5 minutes, and I don't try to push those feelings back anymore. If I'm at work, if I'm in the car, if I'm making dinner, if I'm in the shower, if I feel like crying or I'm getting emotional, I let it happen. I absolutely let it happen. I don't feel embarrassed about it. I don't feel ashamed about it. And it has been life-changing. I'm just excited to share everything with you guys. I want to help as many people as I can, because it's very hard. It's very tough, especially when you don't have a lot of immediate family. Or you could have a lot of immediate family, but maybe they have no clue what you're going through. And it can feel you feel alienated, but then when you just start, something as simple as getting in your car in the morning and the same road you've drove for 2, 3, 4, 10 years, and one day you get in the car after you've had an awakening, or you're starting to have an awakening, and you look at the trees and you just see like the shimmer or the glitter. There's no words. So I understand if you are listening to that and you're thinking, huh? But there might be some people watching right now who are like, I know exactly what you're saying. Or you look at flowers differently. I took a picture of this tiniest, in the cement in the sidewalk, there was like this perfect little flower that was growing through the crack of it. I just stared at it and obsessed at it, and it was just beautiful to me. It just, I don't know. But I definitely am loving what's happening. Anyone who feels like, anyone in my life who I deal with or who knows me that wants to be a part of my life or doesn't understand this or thinks it's weird, or I cannot make any room for them if they're not going to support it or if they're going to distract me, because I am following what my life purpose is, and my life purpose is to just be aware and to shine my light and just love, 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 love. So yes, I'm very excited. I am going to be leaving some information and some updates. So I'm probably going to be doing like a lot of little random videos that probably are not going to make much sense. But I'm just trying to, start out, get all of this information put together. And so I'm probably going to have a separate channel, like I said, for my tarot readings. And then I'm going to probably continue this channel with my spiritual content. So, and as I learn, I just want to share the same information and experiences. So I'm also going to be giving out my Facebook. I did set up a Facebook for it's strictly only for my spiritual groups. I do not have not one personal friend. Well, there's someone on there I do need to take off, but related to work. So I am going to try to, address that person and talk to them and tell them like, this social media is strictly for high vibing, people needing help, people reaching out. It's like a soul family. That is the only intent for this Facebook that I set up a few months ago. So I will be leaving that information down there in case you're interested or want to talk to like-minded people. They're very supportive. I'm in maybe 10 or 12 groups so far, and it is pretty awesome. So, all right. Well, I thank you so much. I look forward to releasing a lot of content. I want to put a lot of information out there. I understand, like, it's kind of a touchy subject. There's people that are just, I'm not going to say I was someone who didn't know or believe in like spiritual awakenings, but I was struggling. I was struggling with my religion. I was struggling with everything that I have been taught and learned. When I was baptized and heavy in the church and Bible study, and it's not that none of that isn't still relevant. It is, but it isn't. So it's hard to explain, but yeah, so I'm finally coming back to myself, and I'm excited. I actually wouldn't say I'm coming back to myself, because I definitely was in a bad place, but I think I'm starting to see a person that I didn't know. It's like I'm reconnecting with myself at a level of like before all the trauma, and we're talking from when I was a child. So I do have a very amazing person that is helping me work through some issues, some things that I need to, just so I could be my best self. So I thank you so much for watching, and if you have any comments or you want you have any questions, please feel free. Definitely please feel free to leave them down in the comment section, and I will address them. And so yeah, I look forward to putting out some content at least 3 or 4 times a week as I start kind of getting everything together. I'm also getting ready to start making homemade candles. So I'm very excited about that, because I've just got like this burst of creativity, and that's where I'm supposed to focus my creativity, is with me making the candles. So some of them are gonna have crystals in them, some of them are gonna have flowers. I'm gonna make some that are personalized. I'm very, 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 very excited for the future and what's going to be coming. So, okay, guys. So until then, thank you so much for watching. Bye.